Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to Media Tuesday, where every Tuesday I hop on here live to talk to you about some media tips that could help your business out. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Burdo. I'm a former television news anchor, and now I teach small business owners just like you how to get on TV and how to look good and sound good on camera for your business videos. And today we are talking about crisis management. Why are we talking about crisis management? Because everybody and their mother was watching the Oscars on Sunday night, and everybody at midnight had a holy crap moment. Oh my God, I can't believe that this actually happened on live television. Honestly, I was sitting at the edge of my seat on my couch and I was just like, oh no. And I said, poor Price Waterhouse Coopers, because you know immediately that if you are the PR person for Price Waterhouse, you have your phone maybe on your nightstand at that time. Maybe you fell asleep early because the Oscars went really long. And all of a sudden you hear all the beeps. And the pit in your stomach probably got bigger and bigger and bigger. We are talking about that because you, as a business owner, can learn something from the actions that Price Waterhouse Coopers took during the Oscar event. So we're talking about 3 things that were great takeaways, and I have to hand it to Price Waterhouse Coopers. Big round of applause for them, because their PR department and crisis management department were on top of it. So the first thing that they did super well was the fact that they responded nearly immediately. I was shocked because the first time post that I saw with social media and everything from Price Waterhouse Coopers directly, hey Claiborne, thanks for being here, is the fact that it was about 3 hours after the initial post. So it was about 3 a.m. Eastern time. I went back today because I knew we were going to be talking about this, and their official statement immediately came out. You could find it on their website. It's time posted at 12:30 a.m. Monday morning. So think about that. If you were up like me, it was about 12:05, 12:07, 12:10 when things went awry, and immediately within 20 minutes they responded. That is the first thing that you could do. You could respond immediately if something like this, hopefully not, happens in your business. And let's take a moment to say what crisis management is. Nobody wants a crisis in their business, right? You have to have these plans in place so that you can respond 20 minutes after something happens. If you don't have any plan in place, that is a bad scene because, sorry, I have to touch my screen here, because you are not going to know that things are going to go wrong and you're going to be scrambling and trying to figure out what to do versus just doing it. So kudos to them. They were able to get out in front of the story, which is super important in the media world. You're going to take a little tour of my house as I continue talking to you. So that was super, super important. They came out of the gate within 20 minutes. They knew they had to address the problem. They did address the problem, and then they moved forward. Okay, so kudos to them because they were able to handle everything really so swiftly. And I'm sure that the poor accountant that was on the stage doing his job and simply made a human error was saying to himself, I can't believe that my name is going to be known nationally just because of this one human mistake. And that leads us to number 2. Number 2, which you should do if you guys are going through a crisis, is admit fault. I know, it stinks. Nobody likes to admit fault. I mean, think about how many times you fight with your spouse. You don't want to say, yes, honey, you're right. I know it. Sorry, guys. Yep, that's my kitchen. But yeah, you have to. You have to admit fault, because if you don't, everybody's going to say to you, hello, you know that you screwed up. How come you didn't admit to that and move forward? They did. Not only did they admit fault, they did it in a way that was very tasteful, right? So they said, I'm sorry. I am sorry to the presenters, Faye Dunaway. I am sorry to Faye Dunaway, Warren Beatty, the hosts, and the viewers of the Oscars for screwing this up. Yes, they said they admitted fault, but number 3 is even more important. They apologize. Don't you hate it when you're in a fight with someone and you go through the back and forth and they say, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Isn't that a backhanded apology? Nobody likes that apology. Price Waterhouse Coopers did not do that at all. So kudos to them. They said straight up, listen, we are so sorry. This is a human error. And then they went even further by saying, hey, we know that things happen, right? Not only is this a human error, we're going to take it one step further and we're going to explain to you exactly how this happened for this poor accountant guy. And they did. And by the nightly news at 6 p.m. Monday night, everybody understood, hey, this was an envelope mix-up. This was human error. Everybody makes mistakes. And you know what? Everybody in the public recognizes we're human. We all make mistakes. It's the best thing to rely on when there's a crisis management because people understand that sometimes bad things happen. So those 3 takeaways are super important. Do you remember what they are? Yes, you have to get in front of the game and you have to say, we recognize that there is a crisis. Hey, Josh. Number 2, you have to recognize that, you know what? It's not just that we have to say that there's a crisis. We have to admit some wrongdoing here and be upfront and transparent. Number 3, we have to apologize. People like the words, I'm sorry. People like them even more when you explain the error so that they can understand what happened. Because nobody wants to go through a crisis and say in the end, I despise that company. I'm never buying a product from them again. They could have handled this a totally different way. And if you have plans in place for things that you probably don't think will ever happen, guess what? They're likely going to happen at some point, unfortunately. You have to have a plan. And your plan starts with those 3 steps that we just went over. Recognizing that there is a crisis going on and getting in front of it. Number 2 is making sure that you are admitting fault. And number 3 is saying those words that nobody wants to say, I'm sorry. Hey, Peck, good to hear from you again. So I know that this was short and sweet, but this is the start of what I'm hoping to be just brief conversations with you guys online on Tuesdays in the afternoon where I come on, we just talk about a couple of media tips, and then we go about our merry way. If you want more media tips, please feel free to sign up on my website, michelleburdo.com, or on the Facebook page that you're probably on right now. And you could be a part of our email list and get some special tips directed just for you and your industry. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.